Good morning, everyone. Appreciate everybody being here at our Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. It's March. It's not March yet. February 13th, 2024. This is a regular scheduled meeting here at 304 Chestnut Street in Berea. I always want to thank our Mayor of Berea and our City Council for allowing us to use their space. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Lockmuller. Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Buckin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite my friend Brother Stephen Hobbs from Berea Church of God up to lead us in a word of prayer. Brother Hobbs, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Judge. Father God, we're grateful that you've allowed us to be here today. Very thankful, Father God, that we live in a nation of law and order and government, and we're grateful for that. We ask you, Father God, to bring wisdom and guidance to our county leaders and meet every need that is in their lives and the needs that rest in this room today. And we're grateful for your hand, and we're thankful for your providence, and we just look to you because you are our hope and our help, and we're grateful. We pray this and ask this all in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pastor, I'd like to thank you.
Oh,
Kenny Barger, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to use your facility to vote. I was just telling Brian, it's a godsend down here in Berea. It's an excellent location, and
thank you.
We really, really appreciate you, and thank you, for what you're doing for the community.
Well, it's our pleasure to do that.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Barger. Appreciate that.
Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
Everyone would please stand and place their flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Members of the court, y'all have had a chance to look over our previous meeting minutes. We do have two different sets of minutes we need to get approved today. First set is our regular scheduled January 23rd, 2024 fiscal court meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Buckin.
Abstain.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is the next one is a special called work session of February the 6th, 2024. I need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Buckin.
Sorry, Kenny, I meant to abstain
on the other one.
and be right on the other one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Judge Taylor. Yes on the last one.
It's a yes on the one before,
abstain
yes.
on.
Abstain on the special called, yes.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You threw me off for a minute, Tom. I was thinking, man, he was at that fiscal court meeting. And I was like, but I don't want to say anything because I
Threw myself off
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
true.
No, we're good. Yeah, it's good. So I say yes on special call, so we're good to go.
Yep.
Treasurer's report will be at our next fiscal court meeting. First order of business today is a recognition for Family Resource Directors Appreciation Week. And I'm always glad when I get to see my sis out there in the audience. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Whereas Family Resource and Youth Service Centers remove the non-academic barriers to student achievement, bridge the gaps to needed resources, and collaborate the resources of schools and communities for the success of students, families, and communities. And whereas the Kentucky Family Resource and Youth Services Centers have proven to be the most successful part of the Kentucky Education Reform Act of 1990, and whereas Madison County is serviced by 13 Family Resource and Youth Service Centers that assist our students with school and community resources to remove non-cognitive barriers to learning, and whereas Family Resource and Youth Services Centers develop a system of support in their local communities and provide opportunities for children, families, and the community that allow all students to learn and the community to thrive. And whereas Family Resource and Youth Services Coordinator Appreciation Week recognizes, raises awareness of, and celebrates the more than 887 Family Resource and Youth Services Centers and the coordinators across the Commonwealth and the critical role they address in the success of students and families and schools. Now therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive in the Madison County Fiscal Court, do hereby proclaim the week of February 5th through the 9th, 2024, as Family Resource and Youth Services Coordinators Appreciation Week, and urge all citizens to honor the Madison County Family Resource and Youth Services Coordinators for the services they provide to our students and families each day with their "whatever it takes" motto. Ash, your group, who all is here, the Family Resource Directors.
I'm Ashley Taylor, like Reagan said, and I work at Glen Marshall Elementary and B. Michael Cottle Middle School. I have Kathy Coomer. She works with me at Glen Marshall and B. Michael Cottle. Angie Daniels is at Kingston Elementary. Dana Lowe is at Silver Creek and Shannon Johnson. Jean Grant works with Dana at Silver Creek and Shannon Johnson. And then we have Marissa Stipes. She's at Madison Central and Madison Southern. So we want to say thank you to the Fiscal Court for recognizing us today.
Don't sit down.
Come on, we're going to take our picture.
I don't have to stand next to that big giant today.
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thanks, Ray.
Hey, Judge, I'd just like to take opportunity just to thank these ladies for being here today. My wife was down at Silver Creek for a lot of years and then at Shannon Johnson for a lot of years, and I got to see some of Dana's things firsthand. Good to see you today. And, those ladies are angels walking among us, and we certainly appreciate everything y'all do for us.
Yeah, I'll echo that, Tom. With the mental health crisis that has been kicking our hind ends for quite some time, and it's going to continue to get worse. We need to really focus in on individuals like this, because it's an issue. And somebody that's an adult today that's going through mental issues, they were probably caused 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and they're out there. I mean, they're amongst us as leaders of the community. I mean, the lady yesterday, I'm not mad. Many of y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not mad. I'm bothered. I'm bothered that we have citizens out there that have mental issues, and we need more resources to deal with them. But these individuals are on the front lines every day with our younger generation that are going to be adults, and they've become counselors. They've become social workers. They're helping with food insecurities and clothing insecurities, and that's what our family resources directors do on a daily basis. And I think a lot of times we don't realize it and understand it. And just kudos to you all. Thank you very much, and I'm glad you're where you're at.
I used to see a lot of times I'd go down and try to catch some lunch with Karen, and walk in school, and unfortunately, just see some random child and think, that's a product of the system. It's just waiting to see the Madison Radisson. And then I come around the corner and there'd be Dana, big smile on her face. It's like, there's hope.
Yeah.
All of us had the pleasure of hearing Mitchell Toll at that last conference, and he said something that really stuck with me is if you're not touching people, you're not teaching people. And his presentation was on molding the clay, and you guys are the ones that are touching individuals, and so that you can teach them. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't share it, then it's useless knowledge. And if you're not applying it to our community, it's not helping anybody. So thank you all for all that you do. We appreciate it very much.
Now, y'all are more welcome to stay, all right? But if you all want to, yes, go ahead and get up, get on out of here. Yeah. Next on our agenda is another proclamation to support Eastern Kentucky University's proposal to offer Doctor of Hold on. I hit it.
Somebody help him.
No, don't. No, I got it. I just got to get it in my brain because I hit it right when I was reading this morning. Osteopathic medicine. There you go. It just took me a minute. Whereas Kentucky citizens suffer from lack of access to physicians, and whereas according to the 2022 Physicians Report published by the Kentucky Office of Rural Health, the number of physicians in Kentucky decreased by 590 between 2019 and 2022. And whereas using primary care as an example, the Robert Graham Center states that in order for Kentucky to maintain the status quo in primary care, the state will require an additional 415 primary care physicians by 2030, or a 15.2% increase. And whereas the shortage of physicians also impacts the economies of local communities and the state as a whole. And whereas according to a recent American Medical Association study, physicians support 94,338 jobs in Kentucky, generate state and local tax revenue of $557.2 million, and have a total of $15.4 billion in economic activity, with each one having an economic impact of $1.9 million. Now, therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive in the Madison County Fiscal Court, do hereby support Eastern Kentucky University's proposal to offer Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degrees for professional practice and licensure in medicine. I didn't butcher it too bad, did I? Appreciate it. And Dr. Ryan Wilson is here on behalf of Eastern Kentucky University. Ryan, if you want to go up and say a few words and talk about this awesome endeavor that Eastern Kentucky University and President McFadden and you all are putting forth.
Yeah, thank you, Judge Taylor, and thank you all for having us here today. We really do appreciate this. It means a lot to us. As Judge Taylor said in the proclamation, you can hear there, we're definitely at a shortage for physicians. We have a healthcare crisis that's looming, and we just think this would be an opportunity to help Kentucky and the borders beyond, specifically our region, where we have a lot of rural counties that are facing an uphill battle. But just an update for you, House Bill 407, which is the osteopathic, to add that to allow us to do the feasibility study and to offer that actually passed out of the Education Committee this morning with 14 yes votes and 0 no votes. So that's a good sign. So a good update for this morning. But thank you all so much.
Tell us what osteopathic medicine is.
I wanted Reagan to tell us.
I think Judge Taylor could tell you. No, it's actually Jill Williams might be able to tell you a little bit better than I could with her background in Baptist Health. But it's a general practitioner, but it's kind of a holistic view on medicine. Whereas, a general practitioner will know everything to treat you, but a DO might specialize in certain areas that might be a little more acute to treat patients with different issues or abilities. Did I get that kind of right, Jill? Sort of. Yeah.
It was a trick question.
Treat the whole
me, I
person.
didn't know it.
I had to look it up.
That'll be something to do.
All right. Next on the agenda is first reading of ordinance 2024-02. It's land use change 301 Crutcher Pike and Tract 1 Crutcher Pike from UC7 Agriculture to UC1 Single Family Residential. Bert, good morning.
Everybody. This is an ordinance of the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, approving the zone change of 301 Crutcher Pike and Tract 1 on Crutcher Pike, Richmond, Kentucky, and authorizing the amendment of the official zoning map of Madison County, Kentucky. Whereas the hereinafter described land is located in Madison County, Kentucky, and whereas the Madison County Planning Commission held a public hearing on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, to consider a land use change request application from UC7 Agriculture to UC1 Single Family Residential. Upon presentation by the applicant and public comment and testimony, findings of fact were made by the Planning Commission as described in their summary of evidence, findings of fact and recommendation to the fiscal court attached hereto and made a part hereof for all purposes as follows. Number one, that the existing zoning classification is inappropriate and the proposed zoning classification is appropriate for the following reasons. A, the property is located within the urban corridor and adjacent to other residential development and where residential development is encouraged by the comprehensive plan. B, that the comprehensive plan encourages residential uses along roadways akin to Crutcher Pike, Millshed Lane, and the location of the existing infrastructure are adequate for residential use due to the site and dimensional requirements of single-family residences. C, that the proposed zone UC1 will not disrupt traffic along Crutcher Pike or Millshed Lane, nor will its use disrupt the surrounding property's quiet enjoyment. D, that the property's existing zone UC7 is not appropriate, and E, that the proposed zone UC1 is appropriate. And whereas the Madison County Planning Commission, upon hearing testimony, made a motion with unanimous consent to recommend to the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the land use change request from UC7 to UC1. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has reviewed said findings and recommendation of the Madison County Planning Commission, and being otherwise sufficiently advised, and does hereby adopt the findings of fact made thereby. Now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that the land use classification of the following described property be changed by this ordinance from UC7 to UC1 classification. Section 1 contains a legal description of the property that I won't read. Section 2, that the Madison County GIS coordinator make the appropriate changes to the official zoning map of Madison County. Section 3, that the county clerk cause this ordinance to be published in accordance with Kentucky revised statutes. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
Thank you, Bert. Members of the court, y'all have heard the first reading of ordinance 2024-02, land use change 301 Crutcher Pike and tract 1 Crutcher Pike from UC7 agriculture to UC1 single family residential.
Motion to approve ordinance 2024-02, Judge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Bert, thank you for the map again and the description of any complaints.
There were some people at the meeting that had some concerns, usual concerns that I'll say usual, the same things that come up, traffic and property values and that kind of thing. But it was a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, despite the concerns.
Thank you.
But I think there were a lot of the people that were there, though, once things were explained of really what it was going to be,
Yeah,
there was quite a few of them that had
maybe questions more than concerns, the type of houses that maybe would be built there, and the number of houses, and maybe how it would be laid out, the entrances, that kind of thing. But it wasn't a raucous crowd, I'll say that. Just some concerns, maybe.
Yeah. But I think some of them were a little bit more at ease once they left than maybe when they
so,
came.
yeah, that's the conversation you and I had. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Before we vote, for any reason that anyone would like to make a public comment, please feel free to email the comment to comments@madisoncountyky.gov. A copy of this ordinance will be available on our website at www.madisoncountyky.gov under the Transparency Public Notices tab. So, second reading of an ordinance and a zone change would be a public hearing. So anybody that would want to come and have public comment on behalf of this development, it'll be at the next
Be in Richmond.
in Richmond, in 2 weeks. So, yep.
Hey, Judge, I also want to thank Scott. We were out there and saw this property the day that we were out road hunting, I think. We drove by it out there, so that helped me get the visual on that too, along with the map. Thank you.
3 maps.
Yeah, there is 3 maps in there.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. No other discussion. Call the roll.
Master Bocken,
Yes.
Master Combs,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thanks. All right. Next, Resolution 2024-11. This is a general ASAP grant, FY25. Jill.
This is a resolution confirming the Madison County Fiscal Court to serve as the applicant agent for the FY25 General ASAP grant and authorizing the judge executive to sign on behalf of the county. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, at the request of the Madison County Agency for Substance Abuse Policy, ASAP, assists in providing resources to enhance the health and well-being of the general public. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court will act as the applicant agent for ASAP to make an application to the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet Office of Drug Control Policy for assistance to affect alcohol and substance abuse issues in Madison County and to increase drug prevention and awareness activities funded by the program. And whereas the Madison County ASAP funding request is limited to $20,000 for the 2025 Agency for Substance Abuse Policy funding year. And whereas the budget approved by Madison County ASAP and applications for funding are attached here to this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court will assist the Madison County Agency for Substance Abuse Policy by acting as the fiscal agent for the program, providing fiscal operation of the agency. And be it further resolved that in the event a grant is awarded, the Madison County Fiscal Court understands that it will sign assurances to comply with all applicable federal and state laws, rules, and regulations, especially Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and Section 504 of the 1973 Rehabilitation Act.
All right, thank you, Jill. You all have heard Resolution 2024-11. What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion approved, Judge. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just have a question. I see Laura's here with us today. I was just curious. You know, we appreciate the attachments this time. You know, so that you can see actually what everything is. One of the things that I thought about it, and I've been doing this with you for a few years, so I'm familiar with some of it. But I was just curious on what do you get back at the as being the board chair, as far as for how do we know how we're measuring this? How's our progress levels? What's working? What's not working? How do you know that?
So, there are two things with that. Measuring outcomes, as far as the overall outcomes, reducing substance use disorder in our community is really difficult to measure with these very small mini grants. You know, giving $2,000 to a program in order to help people get IDs, it's hard to link that with the long-term outcomes. So we look at, you know, all the data that you all see, overdose rates, you know, things like that, treatment utilization. It's really hard to link that back to this 20,000. What we can do, though, we ask everyone at the end of the year to give us a report. So, you know, these were the goals that you stated. You know, how did that work out for you? Sometimes there are things that change over the course of the year. How many people were helped with this? And then just kind of anecdotally. So people come, the people that we fund, they, 2 at a time, they come to our meetings to present. Most are actually members of ASAP, so they're there anyway. But they'll come and present for 20 minutes about this is what we did with the money. You know, these are kind of more the stories that go along with it. You know, it's an option to hire an evaluator with these funds, and we have always decided not to do that because we want the money going straight into programs, and none of us are epidemiologists or, you know, research types. And that's something we talk about once a year, you know, about evaluation. So we'd be really open to any ideas that anybody has as far as that goes.
I was just thinking about it, mention that you do get some feedback reports. That might be something good whenever you get them, if you would send those and just let the members of the court to take a look at them as
Absolutely.
well. And I saw on this one also that that the suggestion to do the transportation. Because I had a really good discussion with Jill yesterday about that, and she opened my eyes up on a lot of things over there that I hadn't even thought about. That's it's really a challenge. The
It is
transportation
the
issue.
absolute biggest issue that there is. We've got a lot of resources even here in the county for people, but if you can't get there, you know, it doesn't matter how many resources that we have. There are people who walk, you know, I know someone who walks 7 miles one way to get to methadone treatment every day. Gets there at 5 in the morning, walks 7 miles, and then back. They're outside of the route to catch a Foothills bus, and it's early in the morning, and he has to get to work. So it's a huge, huge issue. You know, a couple years ago, we had UK's Healing Communities study here, And they had, I think, 4 drivers just for Madison County. The amount of miles that they logged was more than anyone in the state. That was the same year that Foothills had their MORE project, and they provided cab vouchers. With all of those resources, and it was incredible to have that, that still just barely touched the need that we have. So that is by far the biggest issue that we see. So ASAP is going to put together, with our $20,000, that would buy us 3 days of transportation for people who need to get to daily treatment. But we're going to put together a transportation committee. Tyler from Foothills, the transportation director there, kind of strong-arming him into chairing that committee, because he has a lot of understanding about how this works, and figuring out where to go.
That's definitely one that would be good to hang a dollar figure on if you could.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Absolutely. So yeah, we can definitely provide you all with the reports. And what I can also do is let you all know when our grantees will be presenting at the meetings. If you want to come, or we can give you a Zoom link and you can watch. It really is heartening to see what folks are doing with this little bit of money, and how we're kind of the safety net. Like these little pockets of money. The detention center is a great example. They've got this recovery program, and they wanted it to look like a place that didn't look like the rest of the jail. And how do we get money to do that? And we were able to provide money so they could paint, they could, make it look like a welcoming space for people. So we're able to do things like that a lot of funding sources are not.
Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions?
Anyone else?
Just thank you for all that you do.
We've got a great team in Madison County.
Appreciate you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, you all heard, we have a motion and a second. Hearing no more discussion. Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 2024-12. This is Madison County Sheriff's 2024 budget. Sheriff, you want me to read it?
Please.
A resolution for the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the Madison County Sheriff's 2024 budget. Whereas the Madison County Sheriff presented the Madison County Fiscal Court with the 2024 budget, and whereas the Fiscal Court is required to approve the Madison County Sheriff's budget annually, and whereas the Madison County Sheriff's Office will provide monthly updates to the Fiscal Court as to the financial position of the Sheriff's Office, including but not limited to actual monthly expenses, year-to-date financial statements, and all transfers. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve the Madison County Sheriff's 2024 budget in the specific line items that have been designated and authorizes the judge executive and or his designee to execute same on behalf of the county. I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2024-12.
Motion
moved.
approved, yeah.
Have a
Second.
motion and a second. All right, any discussion? At this time, I think, Sheriff, if it's okay, I'll just turn it over to you. And you can kind of give an overview.
Well, first of all, I want to say this is a day that we've been looking forward to since
You can turn your mic.
Oh, sorry. There you go, Mike. There you go.
get about 2 or 3 here for everybody can hear me well. Like I say, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and today's a big day for our agency. We first met on January the 9th. Our budget, at that time, our masters want to take a better look at it. And Jill, Judge Taylor, myself, our finance director, Mary Margaret, and our chief deputy, Tony Terry, we've spent many hours breaking down this budget, breaking down each line item, breaking down each item in each line item, and coming up with our expenditures and what we bring in. It's been stressful, not only for me, but my employees and our sheriff's office, because we didn't know what kind of budget we were going to receive. We know what we turn out each and every day to protect the citizens of Madison County. So this meeting that we had numerous times, getting all these figures together, I think it was very productive, and I think it was very successful, not only for the magistrates, for myself to understand what the makings up of each line item is. The good thing about it, we had a work session, I think on February the 6th, where all of our magistrates could look at it and understand. There was many questions asked, and I think that meeting was very successful as well. So today, we're hoping to be able to continue what we do each and every day for the men and women of our sheriff's office. Like I said, you know, it's been some pretty tough times not knowing what our future is going to be, but you know, if this budget is approved today and it's passed, we can move forward doing what we do each and every day, and that's protecting the citizens of this county and doing what we have to do. And I'm personally very protected of our sheriff's office, the men and women. You know, I believe in what we do. I spent almost 30 years in the state police, and you know, since 2011 coming in with Sheriff Combs, and after his passing I was appointed. You know, it's tough when you have an expensive agency that requires money to go out and do the jobs that you have to do, and have a court that has to approve your budget. But I think that if everybody looks at our agency as a whole, what we do each and every day, year by year, you know, this court has always been very supportive of our sheriff's office. You know, we've had things happen that happens in big police agency. We've had people shot. We've had to shoot people. We've done our jobs each and every day. It's like any other agency. Retention is hard to keep people, but I don't think they work here for the pay. I think they work here because of the support of the community and the support this court always has given us in the past. And just to go over, I think Mr. Bodkin wanted me to go over a few figures. So I'm going to go over just a little bit. 22 and 23, year 22 and 23, especially in 2023, that we can go over. Just to give you a quick rundown, then I'm going to have my Chief Deputy, Major Terry, give a little bit more. But looking over our CAD, what we call our CAD from 911, just to show you some of what we did in 2023. We had escorts, 286. We had non-injury accidents, and a lot of these accidents take 2 people and sometimes 3 deputies just to work for the safety or the traffic. If it's on 75, 52, 25, some of these places are the reason we've had an accident, because there's an accident. Now we have to have people work it, but they have to be safe while they're working it. So sometimes it requires more than 2 deputies. But we had 594 non-injury accidents that our sheriff's office alone worked. We had 208 what we call 1046ers, or injury accidents, that our deputies worked. Just going down through here, animal complaints. You know, we do more than just do our deputy work. You know, we assist the Madison County Animal Shelter on a lot of times when their people are off or not out. But we had 392 complaints, animal complaints, that we worked or assisted on. I think we had 96 drunk driver arrests, and of course this could be from alcohol and or drugs, and it seems like we have more drug related driving while intoxicated arrests more than we do alcohol anymore. Burglaries, we were up again in burglary, and burglaries in progress, we had 38. We served 929 warrants for the year. We were up in all of our process paperwork that we serve, where they're behind on child support or anything come from the court. We were up on those papers as well. Canine calls that we were called out on were 48, and Madison County is very lucky to have a canine program that we have. A lot of it is funded through donations where people that work at the sheriff's office or those that are dog canine handlers, they go out and raise money to help pay for those expenses. And we have a small line item in our budget for our canines, but we have so much of the general public that supports our canine program that it's been very, very efficient. In the last couple of weeks, some of the crimes have been committed. One of them went over to Fayette County with Lexington Metro and their deputies. The guy jumped out and ran off, and our canine that was on scene, he took him down, and the rest was made. So I think our canine program is one of the best in the state, if not the best. Court directives, we had 333. We answered 6 shoplifting offenses. Going on down through criminal mischief cases, we had 63. Domestic violence cases across Madison County for 2023, we had 185. And a domestic violence case, when we look at our manpower, we look at these accidents, certain calls we go on to, that's going to take at least two deputies. Just going down through, like I say, we had 368 general investigations. We had 453 motorist assists. That's on all of our roads in Madison County, as well as the interstate. Some of these are in the worst weather conditions that we could think about, where we have our people out at all hours of the day and night. Protective orders, there again, we were up again on that one. We had a number of drug complaints that just came in through our tip line, and that was 116 just came into our office tip line, not any other ways. But our figures are all up all across the board, and I want to bring Major Terry up and let him go over a few more. But our court security, we transported to court, Madison County Court, Circuit, District, and Family. We transported 3,807 people. That's not the people walking in on their own. That's the ones that we have to transport. 3,870. We drove 82,419 miles within the state of Kentucky to transport these prisoners. And 731 of the prisoners that I named were out of state, or not out of state, but out of county. So we spend a lot of money in the court system, providing security for our court facilities, providing money to transport these prisoners. I would love to see some of our courts across the state start using our camera system so we can cut some of these expenses down. But we used 3,990 gallons of gas in the duties of transporting these prisoners at a cost of $13,323 for the year of 2023, just on that. There again, our figures are probably the same of 2022, if not more in 2023. We have a excellent, well-trained, professional agency, that the men and women that go out each and every day that do their duties. And I know I'm proud of them, and I know you all are, because you're continuing supporting our budget. But Madison County, with the city of Richmond, the city of Berea, the state police, it's nice to know that we have law enforcement, and the state police, we have law enforcement within this county. And, one of the conferences I was at not long ago, they said that for almost, I think it was 4 million that live in the state of Kentucky, we only have 8,000 sworn officers to protect those 4 million people. So Madison County is in pretty good shape law enforcement wise. And I think a lot of that comes from your all support of our sheriff's office so we can keep what we need to do. And if this budget is secured today, we can go about our administrative duties, we can go about our purchasing, scheduling, our training. We've got a direction now once this budget's passed that we didn't have January the 9th. So very appreciative. Major Terry.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Some of these figures I want to talk about, well, there's different ones, but they're different than the one the sheriff went over there. In 2023, the Madison County Sheriff's Office investigated 28 sex offense crimes. Those are very time-consuming and comprehensive cases, spearheaded by Lieutenant Todd Allen, so he does a great job with that. We investigated 40 misdemeanor assaults, 31 other violent felony offenses that could be rape, robbery, some of those violent crimes. We investigated 33 death investigations just last year. And unfortunately, 8 of those were overdose cases, which segues me into this next part. At our last meeting we had here in Berea, Magistrate Bodkin brought up a point about the scourge of drugs in Madison County and what kind of an impact are we having on it. And so we went back to the drawing board here and gathered some data, and just wanted to present some of that at this meeting, if that's okay. Over the last 5 years, the Madison County Sheriff's Office has participated with many agencies in this county, Richmond Police Department, Berea Police Department, Kentucky State Police, Eastern Kentucky University, and Bluegrass Army Depot. We have a great relationship with all of those. But we also partner with federal agencies. We have 2 detectives on our Appalachia HIDA, the high intensity drug trafficking area, and then we have one's assigned to our Homeland Security. We have 2 officers that work street crimes, and then, as the sheriff alluded to a while ago, our K-9 unit, which is second to none, spearheaded by Lieutenant Thomas there. So that, in conjunction with all of our deputies that we have, we really attack the drug problem hard here in Madison County, and I believe it's spearheaded by our agency, to be honest with you. So the information that I have over the last 5 years, these are cases that directly are in Madison County or have a nexus to Madison County. We have seized 3.88 pounds of methamphetamine. We have seized 2,929 dose units of oxycodone.
Hey, Tony, would you care to just, because I know we understand because we've had this conversation, but others watching might not understand what 3 pounds of methamphetamine.
Sure.
So just give a little example of the
so
sugar packet thing.
I'm going to when I.
Well, I'm
let me
sorry.
Give these numbers.
I might have jumped
these
ahead.
numbers,
I'm sorry.
I'll elaborate a little.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I understand where you're going. So, cocaine, we have seized 8.5 pounds of cocaine. Heroin, 10.1 pounds. And fentanyl, 8.38 pounds. These are just the hard drugs that the people are so concerned about in Madison County with good reason. And to put things in perspective, as Judge Taylor is alluding to there, especially with the fentanyl, 8.38 pounds. A sugar packet that you get at Cracker Barrel is 3 grams. 2 milligrams within that packet of fentanyl is enough to kill 1,500 people. Okay? If you put the 8.38 pounds, the DEA says that 2.2 pounds, which is a kilo of fentanyl, is enough to kill 500,000 people. So I'm not the best mathematician, but 8.5 pounds of fentanyl is enough to kill 2.5 million people. So over the last 5 years, we've confiscated enough fentanyl here to basically take out half the population of Kentucky, as the sheriff alluded to a while ago, over 2.5 million people. So that's quite a dent of what we are part of here in Madison County, and we're very proud, of the tireless and fearless efforts that our agency provides to this. And, you know, they work hard every single day, and we're just so thankful that we have the people that we do that go out and put their lives on the line every single day for this effort. So I wanted to bring some of that to your attention because the question was asked by Magistrate Bach.
Thank you.
I just want to add to that, you know, there's a lot of weight when we talk about this budget. This process was really in depth. From the Sheriff's Department, you know, even though I didn't get to attend the special call meeting, I did watch it. The information that you guys got and the details you had to go through, it's very helpful to the court to see where those dollars go. But, you know, you were putting a figure on lives. That's right. That's what it amounts to. And when we were talking about $2.5 million coming out of the general fund that could be used for other purpose, supporting the Sheriff's Department, hey, listen, we're supporting the community. That's it. That's the bottom right. For me personally, nothing more important. So I just want to thank you all for everything you do over there. You do a great job. I see our deputies everywhere all the time. I've never seen one yet that wasn't as squared away as they could be at any given time, day, night, whenever. And we just appreciate you guys continuing the fight, and let's get as much as we can.
Yes, sir. The amount of drugs seized, as you mentioned, the amount, if you put that into perspective, is $2.613 million. That's the amount of drugs that we've seized over the last 5 years. And as you said, you know, you can't equivalate that into the lives that's saved. I can't tell you how many lives we've saved. I can only tell you the ones that we've lost. So that's the unfortunate part.
One comment I want, just for the record, sometimes we forget to do this because we all see this paperwork, other people don't, but the sheriff's total requested budget this year is $6,112,798. The fiscal court contribution of that will be right at, based off the budget, be right at $2.63 million. So, which is, I think, about 100,000, maybe a little less than 100,000 bump from last year, just FYI. Yep. So.
It's a problem in the future. We all know that. We're not in a cloud. We know that it's going to be a future. Our resources are, in years to come, are going to be stretched, but it's all something that we all have to weigh on. The community has to weigh in. We have to know what's important. For me, this is it. This is our top thing. But we've got a lot to deal with as we go forward. And
I think
we appreciate everybody's work on it.
I think you bring up a good point, Tom, that we have to start asking the community what they want, right? And if they say they want this, at some point, we or whoever the next magistrates and county judge is going to have to increase our revenues to be able to afford it. I mean, it's plain and simple. We have had this discussion, our work session, a lot about, I don't think anybody sitting up here has anything to do with the job and how proud we are of our sheriff's department. It's how we're going to afford it.
That's right.
I said it at the work session 12 years ago. Fiscal court didn't give any contribution to the sheriff's department. Things have changed. We all agree with that. But little by little, we have supported the sheriff's budget and increase every year because of the standard that he has created, which is a great standard for our community. But we've never gone to the taxpayers, which is our revenue stream, and said, how are we going to pay for this? And I just have some great concerns, and I don't want to reiterate the work session. That's why we had the work session. But we have some pretty big expenditures beyond the sheriff's department yearly basis that are getting ready to hit us with the CSEP program ending.
That's right.
And so I always want to be proactive, not reactive. And so I think our process that we went through with the sheriff's department was great. It was great for all of us. It was a great learning experience. So I'll end with that. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to thank Jill, Judge, Sheriff's Office for all the work that you guys did. I know it was painstaking, but it was necessary. It's necessary for us to be educated, and it was necessary for us to identify areas where we can help. You know, we're going to go to the legislature in the end of this month, and so we're going to have those conversations. You know, it's like the sheriff identified with using the video system for court and things. Those are things that we can come alongside and to help. But if we didn't identify those things, then we couldn't help. So this process, I think, is a beginning process, and it's a great place for us to build on and to continue to work. You know, all of us up here are forcing agencies inside county government to be more efficient and to use their dollars wisely, because everybody in this room is a taxpayer. You know, all of us are contributing to this, and these are services that have, like the sheriff said, has a dollar amount attached to it, and we have to identify ways to pay for it. So kudos to you all. Thank you for doing the work, and it helped us educate us on the sheriff's budget. We have a better understanding of it now. We actually can look at where the revenue is coming in, where it's being spent, and it helps us tremendously to know those things, so we can come alongside and help, because this is a partnership. Judge talks about it all the time, about partnerships. Without them, we're not going anywhere as a community. We have to reach across and work with each other in every department, doesn't matter what it is, to make this community better. That's what we're elected to do. And so I thank you all for this and for your efforts.
Yep, I said I wasn't going to say anything else, but I'm going to say one more thing because I think it's important. You know, breaking that budget down into the different categories and the functions of the sheriff's department, I think, you know, goes back to a lot of these unfunded mandates that get passed down to us at the local level. And one of those was in court security. You know, with what court security costs us in court versus what we get back from the legislature, I mean, we lose, I think it was ended up being $300,000 a year. And I'm not here, I'm a business guy, but I'm not here to necessarily make money, right? But I sure don't want to lose money. So I think those little measures that spreadsheet gave us, you know, allows, to Brian's point, allows us to go to the state and advocate and say, you know, I mean, it's one thing to not have enough troopers out there. That's an unfunded mandate, right? Indirectly down to us, because we're having to put more of an emphasis in law enforcement presence. Well, now then also they're hitting us over here on the court security side, and not the reimbursement, not reimbursing us back dollar for dollar. And so I think that really helps us to then go to the legislature. But I'll say this, you know, we have sheriff's deputies back here supporting the sheriff's department in this budget. But you all also need to be in Frankfort supporting us when we have to go to our legislatures, or Jared or Deanna, and we've got to go together as a team and say, hey, this has got to stop. We can't keep shoring up these unfunded mandates. We can't. We just got hit. We talked about PVA, $75,000 a year. I mean, it just keeps coming. There's something always popping up. And at some point, we're going to look up and we're not going to have any money for roads. You know? So, anyway. All right. Any other comments?
A potential amendment onto House Bill 6 that may take some of the drug money out for rehab, that will put prisoners, instead of going to a treatment, back into the detention center. $6 million.
Yep.
That's going to come straight back to us.
Yep. Anything else? Anybody else? We do have a motion and second to approve Resolution 2024-12, which is the sheriff's budget for 2024. Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Well, you know, I've studied this pretty hard in the sheriff's office. I'm proud of our sheriff's office. We got one, we got the best sheriff department in the state, in my opinion, and I just so much appreciate what y'all do. We're a fiscal court. Fiscal is financial. That's really, and so I'm looking, and I'm studying this pretty hard, and our revenues are up, but so are our expenses. We do have mandates, funded or unfunded, doesn't make any difference. We are mandated to do certain things as a fiscal court, and there's no flexibility in that, like providing jail or helping with the roads, other mandates that Reagan just mentioned. We got some debt right now. It's investments, but our debt service is up, but it's going to pay off one of these days, but it's going to be a little while. I'd love to be able to give the sheriff all the money that they're asking for, but from my looking at the situation, and Reagan was talking about, some of these challenges that we're facing in the near future with CSEP leaving, some other issues that are coming up. I think that, there's storm clouds on the horizon unless something changes, of course, and things can change. Great things can happen that we don't even see coming. But at this point in time, I'm sorry, I just don't think we can afford it, Sheriff. I just don't think that the taxpayers, we as a fiscal court, unless we're going to increase revenue, and I don't want to go there. So I'm looking long term, and I have to say no.
Kenny?
Mr. Buchan?
Well, and I'll just add to that part of what Billy Ray's saying is correct. We do have challenges, and there are things that we're going to have to look at. But at this point in time, for me, I don't see how we cannot afford it. So it's a yes for me.
Mr. Combs?
Yeah, this is a good starting point. We've identified a lot of things that we can help with the sheriff's office. I think this is a fair budget. We're gonna tweak year after year. We're gonna look at it and be more proactive with it. And so I'm a yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2024-13. This is a Media Content Specialist Professional Services Agreement. Jill, you're going to read this, I think?
Yes. Sorry.
That's all right.
This is a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Landry Luxon Consulting LLC for media content specialist services. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court and Madison County Emergency Management Agency, MACSEP, requested quotes from experienced media content specialists for media content services. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court and EMA-CSEP understand the importance of promoting public awareness to enhance communication efforts, website content, social media, and post-CSEP closeout messaging. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court and EMA-CSEP received one proposal via electronic mail, and whereas Madison County Fiscal Court and EMA-CSEP wish to enter into a contract with Landry Luxon Consulting LLC for media content specialist services as planned and budgeted through the federal CSEP. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the Judge Executive and/or his designee to negotiate and execute contracts on behalf of the county.
Motion to approve Resolution 2024-13, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Mr. Buchan?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
You got a little tongue tied.
I get out of rhythm. I don't want to hold court up, but Landry came to us as an intern when she was a junior in high school. And it'd been, that was around 14 or 15. Worked, except for 1 year during that whole time, worked for us, went through college, got her master's in marketing, came back and then left and started her own company. And you don't understand I didn't understand the importance of not social media, but how Google operates and keyword searches, and how that when you Google something in our geographic area that has to do with license of a car or marriage license or any of that, we're on the top 2 or 3 in the results. That doesn't happen by accident. She educated me on all that over the years. And the other thing that she's bringing in here is institutional knowledge. She's been in our government system since she was a junior in high school. She understands it. You don't have to explain it to her. You can make the prettiest website that's ever been made. If it doesn't have any content on it, it's a total waste of money. And that's where Landry's going to be able to again, it's a professional. KCO hired someone for that not long ago. It's a profession now, and it has to be there because the majority of the people are now going to a website to try to find information.
Well, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will make it up.
Well, it's not
In
just
today's
that, but
world.
we don't really sell things. We don't really market ourselves, but we market information. And people are looking for that information, and nobody really wants to, they want to know, want to be educated. And what she does for us is the phone rings less. People were putting the information out there, and people could get it. Anyway, I don't want to stall court, but I'm a pretty proud papa, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the way I can say it. I mean, she'll blow you away with what she's going to be able to do.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that, Kenny. There's many times when I've done searches on things, especially in the voting seasons and things like that, where information comes out of the clerk's office, that it is really good to not have to go through 5 or 6 pages to find something you need when it can pop right up. So
And the
we
numbers,
do appreciate that.
The numbers she provides, the data at the end of the day, and the spikes and the number of hits we get on our website, it's 10 times that goes up 10 times that week before the election. It's because it's a vital resource because we can't answer that many phone calls. It's not physically possible.
I agree.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Thanks for those comments. Next on our agenda is personnel. Ryan. Good morning, buddy.
We vote on
I bring forward to the court the approval of the personnel changes as found in your packet.
Do I have a motion and a second to approve the personnel
moved.
change?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Kenny, we did vote. You did call the roll on the resolution 2024-13, correct?
Yeah.
You got it down? Yeah.
Yeah, I waited after the vote was over.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Employee spotlight, Ryan.
Yes, sir. So today for the employee spotlight, I bring forth to the court Gregory Lovett. Gregory Lovett is a fire captain. He's been with us for 6 years. His colleagues wrote about Gregory Lovett that Captain Lovett always goes above and beyond his daily duties. He strives to teach those under him how they can be the best version of themselves. He always has an open ear to listen, a positive attitude. So I'd like to thank Gregory Lovett for everything he does for the citizens of Madison County.
Yeah.
Appreciate him.
He is a good one. Yeah. And the picture, I love that we add that in the court packet, so it's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next is the judge's report. Do have a few announcements. Madison County Animal Shelter is having a Valentine's Pup Day Out event on Wednesday, February 14th, so tomorrow. In exchange for a $20 donation, which will go towards the dog's adoption fee. Upon adoption, you can sign out one of the sweetest dogs to spend the day with. Visit the Madison County Animal Shelter Facebook page or call 859-624-4744 for more information. During Heart Month, donations can be made to the February Food Drive and Fitness benefiting God's Outreach Food Bank at the Richmond Mall through February the 29th. Madison Central is having a fish tackle swap meet on Saturday, February 24th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at B. Michael Cottle Middle School there in Richmond. Berea College Forestry Outreach Center at the Pinnacles is hosting a geocaching adventure on Sunday, February the 25th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Call 859-756-3315 or visit their Facebook page for more information. And then Madison County Government and its related offices will be closed on Monday, February 19th, 2024 for the President's Day holiday. Offices will reopen on Tuesday, February the 20th at 8 a.m. So that's the judge's report. Would start with Steve normally, but he couldn't make it. He's under the weather, so Billy Ray.
All's well. I don't have anything to say.
Tom?
Just a couple things for me, Judge. Chris, Gio, you guys sent us the broadband map tool this week. Thank you very much for that. That'll be very helpful, especially, I'm sure you've already put it up on the website for folks to take a look at. So that's very good. See, Sarah and Elizabeth, I made some calls about some claims yesterday. Thank you for that information as well. Scott, we're working on a couple of requests for gravel roads. We'll be trying to get those taken care of. Hyattsville, New Road, Rosstown, not sure about the order, not sure exactly when we're going to do that, but we are working on it for the people that have asked about it. I spoke to Brandon this morning. Judge, maybe you guys have seen this. You know, it has been 1 year since that we went from the Rock Castle up to Richmond on 75 with brand new blacktop, and it is just amazing to me at the dadburn holes that are already showing up in between them lanes. I mean, I just don't get that. It seems like it's just such a simple overlapping process. Obviously, it's not, but
Are they doing rolling roadblocks right now?
they did last night.
They did last
night that they did to do some up toward Clay's Ferry, but
Yeah.
it just, I mean, as much as the asphalt is, how fast that it degrades in between them lanes is just nuts. I wish that was a better process, and I guess they'll look at it, but it's aggravating. And then I had mentioned once before about the bridge and apron approaches at the Bucky's exit and up on Barnes Mill. And when the weather gets a little bit better, they're going to start trying to do something with those, make those a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
And so if anyone needs me for anything, Judge, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. Brian?
Just thankful we missed the weather. Last night I was looking through our claims and just that $78,000 in salt. I mean, when you equivalent that to a road, I mean, that's 1 mile of road. And so every time we don't have these snow events, we can save money. So it's just want to point that out because that's something the public needs to understand. It's a cost, a tremendous cost to the county when you're out salting these roads. Other than that, Judge, I'm just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, buddy. Kenny, you got anything?
Cavis, Brian asked before court, Cavis is hundreds of bugs fixed. It's getting a lot smoother. We've still got problems, but the average customer coming in and out, we're still busy right now with all the March. March is our second busiest month, but just be a little patient with us. Titles, they're behind on printing titles because of all the glut of everything coming in. Transportation cabinet is, so we're getting through it. We're going to make it, but it's going to be better at the end.
Good.
Online working okay?
Online is working fantastically. Be great. We did $42,000 in credit cards the other day.
Wow.
Now, I know some people might have come in and paid for a transfer of the credit card, but we're handing out literature to every customer that comes in to renew their tags and pays with a credit card. You can pay with a credit card, online just like you can come into the office and waiting in line. So we're trying to educate folks that's out there and about.
They get the trailer issue straightened out,
Yep.
Kenny?
Yeah, the taxes on trailers are straight.
Boats and all that?
Yep, boats come next
Little-
month. So
yeah.
we think we're starting to see a few boats, which is good. We really have them early than late. But boats was in Cavis, has been for 3 years. That's where we started. So it should be fine.
Yeah, good.
Sheriff, anything?
I just want to thank the court again for the continual support.
Yeah.
And got this burden off our backs now, and we can concentrate more on our day-to-day duties. So thank you again.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Can I ask the sheriff one question here before we get going? I saw your deputy here that was here today, back to work with us, was one that had the dog.
Light duty?
Yes, she better now?
Yes. I'd say a couple of weeks, probably she'll be back out on the road.
Good.
All right, thank you all. Comments from department heads. Any department heads? No? Comments from the audience? Yeah, come on up there. Hey, just state your name and where you live, if you don't mind, please.
Hello, I'm Jared Davis, and I live on 2118 Kentucky River Road in Richmond, Kentucky. I want to thank y'all for having me here and allowing us to speak. I'm here advocating for affordable housing for our county. It's another, situation that's going on, and it ties to the Airbnb issues. So, what I wanted to speak to y'all about is making the leap from renting to home ownership is becoming increasingly more difficult for many families. It's a nightmare for first-time home buyers, and it has become a common practice for large, faceless companies to purchase homes in masses and convert them into rentals, resulting in a more and more competitive market and fewer available houses and inflated home prices. And this is a fact. According to data gathered by CoreLogic, in 2021, investors accounted for 22% of homes purchased. In 2022, they accounted for 24% of homes being purchased. and according to a recent number by Redfin, it saw an increase of over 80% nationwide. So our investment in residential is real estate companies are purchasing more and more of homes each year. This is a recent trend and was not always the standard. Conventional investors focused on multifamily structures and apartments complexes. This colossal shift has radically affected home buying across the board. Investment groups have the opportunity and the capital to purchase properties in bulk, completely destabilizing the market. Today, we see even more people getting involved. Hedge funds, private equity firms, insurance companies, property management groups are all having more active interest in short-term residential rentals. A company called Blackstone purchased 80,000 homes in 2019 alone. They are a powerhouse, which many brokers and smaller investment groups worldwide currently 5% of these companies own 1/3 of the residential homes in the United States. That's a huge number, folks. Unfortunately, the belief that corporations are buying up all the homes in America and raising housing prices holds true. These corporations greatly favor single-family homes and starter homes over larger homes. You know, they're buying the smaller homes and they're not really interested in our larger homes, which a lot of people have a hard time affording. However, undoubtedly been a major increase in the number of homes bought by corporations, especially since 2020. 81% of Airbnb revenue nationwide, a whopping $4.6 billion. That's 81% of Airbnb's revenue nationwide come from units where their owner isn't present or they're not home sharing. Again, it's property management groups and corporations and what they call empire owners. So I mean, 81% of these Airbnbs are owned by not your neighbor or your friend that's trying to make some passive income. They're owned by corporations. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why our local government would make laws to encourage these corporations into our communities and into our residential housing market of Madison County. So what I will tell, so I want to ask you all, what are y'all going to tell the firefighters that y'all swore in at the last meeting, the police officers, the nurses, the factory workers, our educators, the men and women that are working in this county, struggling, even our county workers, struggling to find homes that are affordable, that you helped them by protecting them from corporate sharks, or that you did nothing to make the laws, or that you did nothing and made laws to facilitate these corporate sharks. Louisville and Lexington and states all over the United States have taken measures to limit and stymie the stop in corporate property management groups. Dallas, Texas has outright banned them. New York, Las Vegas, and many places are putting restrictions on the books. Many states are enacting regulations on Airbnbs. They're putting caps on how many a business can own. They're putting caps on how many a county can have. They're putting caps on how many a subdivision can have. Can this court say that it has no conflict of interest in this topic? I'm just asking. And I wanted to ask you folks, do you all believe that the people of Madison County are here to provide you all with position and title? Or do you believe that your title and position is to provide the people of Madison County with laws and protection from outside investment groups and so-called Airbnbs? I think that I thank you all for the opportunity to speak. And if y'all search these topics, you'll find that Lexington and Louisville are already fighting this problem. And they're already, I got numerous on my phone of, whether it's Wall Street journals, just all kind of different places that are already trying to get out ahead of this situation. And I'd like to see our county try to do something about it. It says New York Times, first-time home buyers are getting squeezed out by investors. How Wall Street is buying up single-family homes. Hedge funds are invading the housing market. That's Vice News. I mean, if we would look and investigate this topic, I'm sure y'all would see the issues that it's causing our folks. And I will make add that my neighbors here got a cease and desist order, which I think is just trying to bully them a little bit. And the law firm's out of Ohio, so it's not even a local thing. It's an out-of-state contractor that's buying, corporate investment group buying these, and they got out-of-state attorneys bullying your local citizens. So maybe it's something y'all ought to think over. Thank you.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Stephanie Atkins, Kentucky River Road. I'm sorry to keep coming to you with this situation, but I have to live with it every day, every week, and every month. The Airbnb that is directly beside me, the noise, the traffic, and yes, I did get a cease and desist letter. I've never spoke with any of these clients. I've never spoke with the owner but one time, and we were just asking for help. So I guess there's nothing that, no changes in the regulation at this time is what I've been told.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. If you're having issues like with noise and all that, that becomes a law enforcement issue.
Right. Which
you need to call the sheriff's department.
Okay.
And I'll say here on the record that we need to. I mean, I know everything's a high priority, Tony and the sheriff, but if there's issues down there of noise and that thing, I would encourage you all to maybe put it at the top of your to-do list if you can. So that then, we can collect data to see what's going on. I sent you an email, Stephanie, and I think at this time we want to monitor this.
Okay. And
We're not New York City. I understand, Jared, where you're coming from, but I don't think that we're to that level yet that we need to jump and changing laws over one situation. And so just like I told you in the email, we are going to monitor this. And if it becomes a true countywide problem, then I think the fiscal court would be open to suggestions of how to fix it.
Okay.
So, Jill, Bert, is there anything else we need to add? Okay.
well, who is going to monitor it? Who specifically? Planning and development?
Yeah, we are. They
Okay.
all Airbnbs now. Before we had no idea where they were.
Right.
So if you're an Airbnb, you have to come in and fill out an application. Your husband came in there the other day and said he was going to turn yours into an Airbnb.
We're being forced to. We don't
well,
live.
well, I mean,
nobody wants to live.
so
in
that
this
same
Airbnb.
process that you all are going through is the same process everybody has to go through, and that's how we will monitor it. Bert and them go and do inspections of the properties. I mean, so there is a way to monitor it now from a noise ordinance, from a nuisance, from that's a law enforcement issue.
Okay.
You know, that has nothing to do with whether you have Airbnbs or not, because somebody could rent an apartment somewhere and be having parties and noise, and we're not going to cut out apartments because somebody's having a party. That's a law enforcement issue.
Okay.
And so we're going to continue to monitor that across the whole county. The city of Richmond just passed an ordinance. I think it was an ordinance. They have a second reading Thursday, and a lot of our stuff, you know, we try to as Richmond and Berea and Madison County, even though we're three different entities, you know, we try to have consistency, comparable rules and laws, so that because a lot of people don't do business just inside the city of Richmond. They do it out in the county, they do it in Berea, and so getting that consistency is what we're looking for.
Right.
But we are going to monitor, just like I told you in the email.
I understand, but I just have to live with it every day. So, and every time I make a call to the planning and development, now I guess they're turning around and calling the property owner. So now the property owner says I'm harassing them. So that's because he knew about pictures I had sent to you and to the planning and development. So that's my concern.
Well, that probably came because I requested information from him.
Okay.
I told the owner, I told Bert to reach out to the owner because, again, I like to compare facts,
Right.
not speculation.
Absolutely.
And so you had sent pictures and things of things you've done, emails, and we told them, hey, the neighbor has this stuff. We want to see your facts, right? We want to see how many nights. I think in January it was 12 or 13 nights. Anyway, he sent information so we could compare. Is this a problem? You know, ask about the RV. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else? Any other?
I will say this though, Judge. To Mr. Davis's what he was talking about there. I have read some articles and stuff on this, and it is a nationwide problem with, with corporations buying up properties. First home buyers now, I mean, especially with interest rates and everything else that's associated, I mean, it's tough for a young couple to go out and buy a home to the point where, and I say that as in here, but in other countries, I've been around the world, I've lived in Germany, in Europe, you have multiple generations that live in the same home for years. I'm talking about, in some cases, their whole life. You can, I'm not getting into no conspiracy theories and all that crap, but just, to say that affordable housing, it's a tough area. There's lots of facets to it, and there are things that's way above this court. But it is something to keep eye on, I will say that.
All right. Do we have any Facebook comments?
No questions, just one comment about very much supporting using the camera system as applicable for each inmate transporting that's being in court. So just someone wanted to comment about how they were also, as a citizen, supportive of, I guess, video court. So what's
Yeah.
so whatever that's called.
We always call it
They're
camera court.
Camera court. They're supportive of that.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, Jill. I need a motion, and a second, to pay the claims, approve the transfers, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, our next meeting will be in Richmond at Richmond City Hall, February 27th, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. Again, February 27th, 9:30 a.m. in Richmond. I need a motion, second, to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Aye.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Hughes? Judge Taylor?
Yes, sir.
Yes.